Hello, my name is Mike. I go by Mike Wave on Twitch.tv, and today we are going to be doing a submission video for Resident Evil 3, the remake which just came out, not the original classic, which came out, I think, in '99. But anyways, let's go ahead and get started. Today we're going to be doing New Game Standard, which is considered to be the main category of the game, the most competitive one by far. It is a category where we run the game on New Game, which means we play the game on a New Game file. So no New Game Plus items, no Infinite Rocket Launcher, or anything like that. Just you play it as if it were a fresh new file. And Standard, because that is the name of the difficulty we are going to be playing on. That is probably the difficulty most people probably played on their first playthrough, and it is the one that most people, as a result, play on for the speedrun. So let's go ahead and get started. Okay, so in this game, we play as Jill Valentine. She was one of the two protagonists in Resident Evil 1. The other being Chris Redfield, who is not present in either RE2 or RE3. So we start in her apartment. She just had a bad dream. We don't have time to watch that dream, though, because it is a cutscene, and that's slow if we are timing this RTA. So we're going to go into her bathroom twice here. The game does start in a first-person perspective, but of course it is played in third person, as RE2 was. And we see in the beginning a phone call for someone, so let's go ahead and answer the phone right here. I'm going to let this cutscene play a little bit, and that's going to put Jill in a better position starting here. It's a very minor time save. I don't even know if it's faster on RTA. But we are now being chased throughout the apartment by Nemesis, who is the main antagonist of the game. Let me just go ahead and do some movement here. Okay, so Nemesis is this bioweapon created by the Umbrella Corporation, who are the main antagonists of the series, basically. They created a bioweapon named Nemesis, who is like a giant hulking monster that's not really a zombie, who is actually pretty smart, and he's gonna try and chase Jill and try to catch her and kill her because she is a member of STARS, which is the this kind of like this unit who was present during the events where we first found out about the T-Virus in the lore. So those were the events of Resident Evil 1. And we just got out of the apartment, as you see. We only do some minor movement throughout the apartment. These first 4 or 5 minutes or so are basically just like auto-scrollers, kind of. Not necessarily auto-scrollers, but like very scripted sequences where we're kind of just watching like basically playable cutscenes. That's what they are. So Brad here, who's a squad mate of Jill's, is explaining to us what's going down. The T-Virus that we found out about has just been unleashed on Raccoon City, where most of the main characters live in. That's where most of them live, at least. And as you can see, most people have been infected and have turned into zombies, so we got to get out of here. This is a little dangerous. So we're going to go into this bar. Brad's going to get infected in that cutscene, and we don't have time to watch his untimely demise, unfortunately. So I'm going to do some movement here. This is a little bit slow, but I kind of screwed up there. That's okay, though. Again, like, screwing up movement on these first couple of parts won't make or break a run, really. It's mostly just for optimization. So I should go into it right now, but the primary mechanic added into RE3 to differentiate it from RE2 Remake is the dodge mechanic. So you're going to see me using it throughout the run. It is an extremely, extremely important mechanic. Basically, by pressing our spacebar, Jill can do this short dash of movement. She can do up to 3 in a row, like right here. 2, 3. There's kind of a brief pause in between each dash that she does, and you can link up to 3, go in any direction, basically. And the more primary component of the dodge is if you use the dodge right before an enemy attacks or grabs Jill, then she will basically just do this roll out of the way. Kind of like that right there. That's what it looks like. As you can see, because of the fact that we can use this dash to avoid a lot of incoming enemy attacks, makes it extremely important in the speedrun. We're just going to be able to get past a lot of groups of enemies using this mechanic.
Damn it.
And as you can see here, Nemesis just shot down that helicopter trying to save us, and he's walking towards us menacingly. So we're gonna try ramming him with this car, but it did not work. All right, maybe if we just step on the pedal a little bit. All right, we don't have time for that cutscene. And as you can see here, it looks like he's gonna get us. But fortunately, Mr. Carlos Oliveira, who is the secondary protagonist, is here to save us. with his mighty rocket launcher. There he is right there. We don't have time to watch the rest of this cutscene, though, unfortunately. We're going to have to be skipping most of these, since this will be timed RTA. Or I'm not really timing it right now. But I'm trying to reimagine it in an RTA setting. We normally use the IGT, where the timer pauses in each cutscene.
I've never seen anything like it. But it's no zombie.
Alright, so right here, Carlos is kind of just giving us the rundown after he rescued us.
No thanks. He's all yours.
He's telling us that he's never seen anything like Nemesis. Well, they don't know the name. They don't know that Nemesis is his name yet, but, you know, we don't think it's a zombie. It's something else. Something a lot more dangerous, and they're kind of right about that.
Kidding me? You guys are the ones who caused
Whoa,
all
whoa,
of this.
whoa.
What are you talking about?
Alright, so after this brief interaction here, Carlos is taking us down here to the subway, where a lot of his buddies and survivors are holed up. And we're going to have to help him out if we want to get Jill out of here. So I'm going to go ahead and do another dodge to this door. As you can see, because the dodge, doing 3 dodges, or just any dodge in general, is faster than just moving somewhere, you're going to see me do the dodge a lot, even if no enemies are around, just to get to certain items or doors or cutscene triggers, because it is a little bit faster than just moving. Alright, so right here, I'm going to go ahead and cancel that radio call. I am going to pick up this herb here for safety. We would normally never pick that up during a run, but because we're going to be doing some riskier strats, I want to have that just in case. So, as I was mentioning before, with at the end of each triple dodge, Jill has a bit of a cooldown before she can kind of do anything again. She can't really move. She's just stuck in place. But if you do a triple dodge towards what I mentioned, like cutscene triggers like right here or anything like that, it basically cancels that cooldown that she has. So it's very beneficial for us to just be dodging towards everything if it does cancel that cooldown, because it is just faster than moving normally. And right there, we went ahead and took caution intentionally. Another important thing about this game is that Jill moves slightly faster in caution. She moves about 3% faster, as a matter of fact. There we go. Kind of like Claire in Resident Evil 2 Remake. So right here, I'm going to do 2 dodges into this perfect dodge right here. We're going to grab this fire hose. We're going to go in here and grab this grenade. Now, I'm going to have to be careful leaving this room, because this zombie in particular likes to camp this door. Oof, okay. But yeah, so Jill does move a little bit faster in caution, so ideally we want to be in caution for most of the run, actually. And on top of just moving faster, it is a bit easier to do the perfect dodge against enemies while in caution for some weird reason. We don't exactly know why. Ooh, okay. You guys are being a little sketch. Okay. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and perfect dodge this guy as well to go up the stairs. As you can see, this first part of the run is us just like abusing that dodge mechanic to just get past a lot of these enemies. I'm also going to dodge towards this fire hydrant. Let's put out this fire. And let's move on to the next part of the run. Okay, so here is a pretty dangerous part of the run as well. At least early on. So, first off, I'm going to use the dodge. There is a scripted part right there where Jill pauses as she hears a noise through the door. But using the dodge mechanic and getting close enough to those chains right there, we can go ahead and just avoid that. I'm going to do another chain dodge right here into this dog. Oh, okay. I'm really hoping I won't get grabbed. These dogs like to be real jerks. Okay, we're good. Whew. So shaking the camera there does kind of help in the dogs not grabbing you. We don't know exactly, actually, if it's placebo or not. Alright. Oh, I did not want to get grabbed. This guy right here is probably the hardest zombie in the game to dodge. Pretty early on, but that is the reason we got that herb right there. So, can be okay. I'm going to put away the bolt cutters and the knife. But yeah, as I was mentioning, that zombie is notoriously hard to dodge. For some reason, zombies on stairs are extremely fast for some reason. Especially on standard. They will just insta-grab you on stairs for some reason. Or just anywhere, really. But on stairs especially, they like to be real jerks. Okay, so I'm going to grab that box that Body had. And what's in here? It's the lockpick. Jill's trademark tool, as we saw in RE1. So right here, we're going to be introduced to a new enemy, And these are the drain demos. They're these bugs that kind of like to inject parasites within their victims. And in the cutscene, they injected Jill with one. Oh, another one's coming toward me right now. But yeah, these guys are also pretty big jerks. They are extremely random. This is maybe the most random part of the entire run. Ooh. Normally, I would take that hit intentionally, but I'm trying to play a little safe right now, considering this is a marathon simulated type run. But yeah, whenever you were injected by these guys with the parasite, you have to use a green herb in order to heal yourself and get the parasite out of your body. It's kind of a special ailment that never appears again in the game. Ooh, I'm hoping... Oh, please let me get this. Ooh, alright, nice. Okay. Okay. So, as you can see right here, me pointing my camera to them and also shooting them kind of cancels what they're about to do. Woo! Okay, buddy. Oh, that was a very close one. That guy tried very hard to grab me. Okay. Ooh, okay, I'm gonna shoot this generator to get rid of some of them. Alright. And as you see, we're just going to these 4 levers and activating them to activate power to the substation, which we can use as a result to restore power to the railway system, which as a result we can use to power up the subway. It's kind of a long domino effect, but we need to come here. And we need to power up the subway in order to escape the city with Carlos and friends. Alright, and that ahead, that should be the end of that segment. Alright. As you can see, I'm kind of using the dodge mechanic to actually enter these radio calls as well. It is a little bit faster. And also to get out of doors, you instantly open doors with the dodge mechanic, which is very nice because the doors in this game are very heavy and don't like to open. Alright, so Nemesis is going to pop up right there, but with a perfectly timed aim right there, we actually get some iframes from the aim, which allows us to avoid that scripted stagger that would normally happen. Alright, I'm going to stagger Nemesis right there with that generator, and we're going to go ahead and get out of here. And that lady almost got me. Alright, see, we got another radio call here. Just Jill letting Carlos know that, hey, Nemesis is back. He didn't actually die. Yeah, Nemesis is a hard guy to take down. But yeah, we're now going to be moving back to where we found that hose earlier to power up the subway. And I'm going to need to pause for a very brief moment here. This will be slow RTA, but this is worth doing. So if I pause right here, Nemesis will drop down. There we go. So by looking up, I saw that Nemesis was not going to drop down as he normally would and would drop down in this area instead. And that would be horrible. Ooh, that guy almost got me. But yeah. Uh-oh. Ay, that's bad RNG. That's okay. That guy is a major troll as well. A lot of the enemies in this early part of the game are pretty big trolls, but we're all good. We're still in caution, so we're fine.
Carlo.
Alright, so we're gonna go ahead and do this puzzle.
Alright, where are we headed?
The train is stopped at Redstone Street. We need to reach
And we need to let this voice line finish before we can interact. But yeah, as I was mentioning earlier, Nemesis dropping down in that one area where I got grabbed is extremely bad. He likes to troll you really hard if he drops down there, so it is worth pausing for just a little bit to ensure that he drops down in front of that donut shop. In any run, you'll see any top runner pause in front of that donut shop, because you really don't want to deal with Nemesis in this area right here. Okay, I'm going to do a double dodge to this door to avoid that tentacle head. That's another new enemy that just got introduced. They are these, they're like normal zombies, except they have like this parasite on top of their head. They're kind of similar to the Las Plagas in Resident Evil 4. I'm going to shoot that generator to stun Nemi and that other enemy right there. Alright, nice. That lady at the top of the stairs was kind of in a trolley spot. It would be okay. Alright. So, another thing I should mention. So, when Nemesis is in these early parts of the game chasing us, we can kind of point our camera down and at him in order to manipulate him a little bit. So that he, here, let me get this dodge real fast. There we go. Okay. So we can point our camera down and at him to, basically avoid him doing any, like, funny shenanigans, like teleporting in front of us and stuff like that. Because he can't do that. If you run far enough away from him and your camera is turned away from him, he'll basically just disappear and then reappear right in front of you. But by pointing our camera at him or pointing it down to the ground, he won't do that.
Come on, you creepy ass stalker.
So we got back to the subway, but Nemesis just won't get away from us, so we're going to have to lose him here. I'm going to go ahead and shoot this generator to stun him. In a good run, I would normally just not shoot that generator and just kind of YOLO it, but again, doing some safety strats here. And we're going to go ahead and try to escape by going into this vent shaft right here. So after knocking it 3 times, as you can see, Nemesis is all the way back there, so we'll be okay. And cutscene, and now we're out. Okay. And right here... Oh, I did not mean to do that. Okay. So, we're now going into the sewers. This is the next part of the game. The sewers is a lot friendlier than that initial part of the game right there. That initial part of the game is probably the most random reset-heavy part, I want to say. I'm going to go ahead and skip that as well. We're going to be introduced to a new enemy down here in the sewer called the Hunter Gammas. They're these white eyeless enemies that are on 2 legs, and they're very, very thick boys. And they have a one-shot mechanic, actually. They can go ahead and just eat Jill in a pretty gruesome death scene. But we're just going to be running past them and perfect dodging past their tail swipes, which they like to do when you try to run past them. As you can see right there, just squeeze past them and then go ahead and perfect dodge that tail swipe that he likes to do. One more right there, and then we're going to dodge to this ladder. And we're going to go ahead and into this room and pick up the battery pack, which we're going to need to get out of here. As you can see, it takes up two inventory slots. Oh, I barely made it to that ladder. That's okay. Okay. As you can see, we're still in caution. Again, you're trying to preserve caution throughout most of the run because you're just faster in caution. Okay. One more pops out of here. We can just completely avoid that window using our dodges before he can really do anything. And we're going to have to deal with one more gamma right here. Ooh, one more perfect dodge. Nice. Okay. Doing pretty good on these dodges. So, another thing I should mention is stair skating. So, as you can see, during a lot of these staircases that I've been climbing up and down, I've been using my aim to help alleviate the stair climbing animation. It is a little bit faster than climbing up and down normally to just aim to cancel the animation. I'm going to go ahead and dodge there to just be safe. Normally that guy doesn't really pose a threat. Okay, just perfect dodge to this ladder. And as you can see, right here, the last door. Get out of here. And boom, we are now done at the sewers. As you can see, the sewers is just, despite how the sewers were in Resident Evil 2 Remake, a lot of people remember it as a pretty notorious area. The sewers in this game is not too bad from a speedrunner's perspective. I'd rather deal with those Hunter Gammas all day rather than any of these normal zombies who can be very, very trolly. So we're escaping from Nemesis again. This time he's equipped with a flamethrower, a giant, giant flamethrower, and he's trying to make us into some grilled chicken here. Excuse the bad joke. All right. So we're gonna go ahead and stair skate up all these staircases, just to try and get away from him. All right. So this entire area is going to be best exemplified as, like, making use of the stair-skate mechanic. Or not mechanic, I should call it. The stair-skate bug. And these dodges. Because you kind of just don't want to be running anywhere. You just want to be using your dodges wherever you can. Like right here, for example. You're just using the dodge to get everywhere. And we're coming up to our first actual boss fight with Nemesis. Normally, you know, throughout most of the first part of that game, we were kind of just running away from him. You can fight him if you want, but he never truly dies. This is the first, like, actual boss fight. So, as you can see, just a lot of precise movement throughout this first part. Just a lot of use of the dodge mechanic. And right here is the boss arena. So we're going to go ahead and use our pistol to blow up the tank on his back. And then use some grenades to finish him off. Oh, I got lucky here. I got a crit on that pistol. That's what I would want to happen on a good run, because that saves about, like, 2 or 3 seconds. And we're going to go ahead and grab the shotgun ammo over here. So even though we haven't grabbed the shotgun yet, we're kind of preparing for it later. You're going to see where we get it instead of the normal spot. So by timing that correctly, he dies as soon as I throw the grenade. So as you see, just a couple of shots on the tank. A couple of shots on the tank. And some grenades will just make quick work of him. That is by far the easiest. Well, no, I don't know if he would be the easiest on this difficulty. He is pretty easy, though, compared to the later Nemesis fights we're going to be going to. So now we're going to be passing through a pretty familiar area for those who played Resident Evil 2 Remake. This is outside the police station. The police station being, like, right over there. And we're going to be going back to the Kendo gun shop, which we also visited in Resident Evil 2 Remake. We're going to need to get the key to unlock this alleyway right here. And we're also going to pick up a very important upgrade here as well. Okay. So there's Kendo. He's an old friend of Jill's, but we don't got time to talk to him. We're going to go ahead and pick up this shotgun part here. That is going to be an extremely important part that we need for later boss fights. We're going to go ahead and use the key to open up this gate right here. Right here, I'm going to try to do a precise dodge. Nice. Okay. I didn't want to perfect dodge that enemy, actually. So, throughout this part right here, I'm actually not going to try and raise my difficulty too much. Nice. Okay. Ooh, he still got me. I think we're okay still? Yeah, we're okay. So, something else that I didn't really talk about, and also, Nemesis is going to be making another appearance right here with a rocket launcher this time. He could be pretty annoying with this rocket launcher. Right. And he's going to come up and try to punch us right here, or he should. Here we go. Nice. And hopefully I should not get hit here. Nice. Okay. That's the first part of Rocket Nemi. And he's up here. He's actually less dangerous in this state than he is in that previous state. Oh, he got a stagger on us, though. That's unfortunate. That's okay, though. So, as I was explaining earlier, this game does have a dynamic difficulty system, kind of like Resident Evil 2 Remake did, as well as Resident Evil 4. So, basically, the better you play, the harder the game gets, and the worse you play, the easier the game gets. That is, like, the general principle of it. The DA works a little bit funny in this game, in that there are a couple of parts where the DA, the difficulty adjustment, that is the term we use, where the DA kind of resets to a predetermined point. But for this upcoming part, we want our DA to be a little bit lower for the segment coming up next. So I'm going to go ahead and use up my last pistol shot there. We're not going to be using that pistol throughout the rest of the run, so I can go ahead and just get rid of that ammo. So shooting ammo, for example, and not hitting an enemy, that counts as lowering your difficulty. So you're going to be seeing me do that quite a bit in this next segment. And also getting hit by enemies is another thing. And things that would raise your DA are like killing enemies, picking up heals, picking up ammo, picking up new weapons, all of that. There are a lot of ways to increase your difficulty in this game. So Carlos, in a cutscene, went ahead and just saved this again from Nemi. Or I shouldn't say again. What am I talking about? We saved him. But now he saved us. Returned the favor. Got rid of Nemesis, and we're gonna go ahead for a subway ride.
Thanks for the same.
Hey,
So for this part right here, we're just gonna go ahead and wait for him to finish talking for a little bit.
What matters is that we can get everyone out of the city now.
yeah. Hey, you'll be safe.
So for this next part, we're actually going to be taking control of Carlos. We're gonna leave Jill, and we're gonna control
What about you?
Mr. Oliveira right there.
I won't be
And that is
catching
going
the
to
train.
take up the next bit of the
Why
game,
not?
I want to say. You actually play quite a bit as Carlos in this game, which is pretty unusual. Usually in RE games where you take control of secondary characters, you don't control them for very long, but we're going to be playing as Carlos for like about almost 10 minutes, I want to say. So, we went ahead. We're going on a subway ride as Jill. Meanwhile, Carlos is off going to the police station from Resident Evil 2 Remake. Yeah, we're backtracking a little bit. Well, backtracking to a different game.
Keep your hands good on Romeo. This is the
So,
police
Carlos has an assault
Sure.
rifle that he primarily
station. Looks
uses.
like a cemetery to me.
So, right here, it's Brad. He's a zombie. Oh, no. He's trying to get us. Don't worry, though. We're going to go ahead and just lead Brad back here. Kind of get away from him. As you're going to see me do right here. I'm using up some ammo because that is all lowering my difficulty. I want my difficulty for Carlos to be a little bit lower than normal. Because the higher your difficulty, the more damage enemies do to you, as well as the less damage that you do. So, because it is, this part can be pretty annoying with how the enemies are positioned. So it's easy to get grabbed. So we want our difficulty to be lower, so we don't immediately go into caution as Carlos. So after Tyrell, who is like Carlos's buddy, is done talking to us, we're going to go ahead and enter this item box and put away the knife. Because the knife in this game is very, very bad compared to the Resident Evil 2 Remake knife. It is extremely bad. You pretty much never use it. So go ahead and put that away. There we go. Make room for some more important items. So we're going to go ahead and explore the RPD as Carlos for a bit, find out what's been going on around here. So I should explain the timeline a little bit. This game does take place about a day before Resident Evil 2 Remake does. So right now we're in the police station about a day before Leon and Claire came here. But it also takes place a day after RE2 Remake. Let me go ahead and stagger that guy by just shooting his knee. So after a cutscene coming up in a bit, the time is going to flash forward about a day, in which case the events of RE2 will have transpired.
You copy?
Okay.
There's something real nasty.
So right here, this is a pretty annoying room. I'm going to go ahead and use Carlos's main ability. Oh, I got grabbed. This guy can be a massive troll. Okay. Oh, a double grab. That is really unlucky. Really, really unlucky. I should have, that is my fault. I should have shoulder bashed that guy. So Carlos's ability in this game is the shoulder bash, as you can see right here. The shoulder bash allows Carlos to just bash into things, as you would imagine. But also, if you time it perfectly right before an enemy grabs you, kind of like Jill, instead of dodging out of the way, he just punches enemies. It's pretty funny looking the first time you see it. I don't know if I got this guy. I hope I did. Okay. So I went ahead and grabbed the flash grenade. Do this part efficiently.
There you are, dick face.
All right. We're going to need to go into this locker room right here to grab this battery, which we need for upstairs. And as you can see, we're introduced to the liquor, which we saw a lot of them in RE2 Remake. You don't have to deal with too many in this run, though. But I'm hoping this liquor will be nice to me. We're going to have to punch him. Ooh, okay. Oh, that guy from downstairs wasn't dead. Okay. It's whatever, though. Okay. So we're going to go into this next part. So yeah, as you saw, the punch happened right there. Instead of dodging, Carlos is a strong boy. He likes to punch.
One at a time, take a number.
Woo, okay. So as you saw right there, in this game, only one zombie can try to grab you at a time. So by abusing that one zombie who's on the floor back there, we were able to just basically run past that entire group of enemies there. And now we're back as Jill after that Carlos segment. As you can see, Nemesis boarded the train and went ahead and caused some havoc. And now the train crashed and everybody died except Jill. So now is the time in the run where Jill gets her shotgun and her grenade launcher. So if you play this game, you might go, wait, those aren't where they spawned. You'd be correct. They spawn in different locations. You can get them much earlier, but we don't need it. We don't need the grenade launcher and the shotgun up before this point. Oh boy. I don't know how to... The mine rounds in this game can be pretty funny of how they work. Okay.
Walker's still alive. I can't stay here.
So I'm going to go ahead and use a safer strat for this fight. So coming up right now, we have the Nemesis 2 fight. He is the second fight, as we call him Nemesis 2. Nemesis has transformed into this giant dog monster, as you can see. And, yeah, we're running away from him. He is pretty dangerous in this form, and we're going to go ahead and fight him in this ring here. So I'm going to try and do a tricky shot. This isn't good. No, we got him. Okay. That is a very tricky shot I did right there. where I went ahead and revealed his weak point instantly. So this fight's pretty rough. It involves a very precise shot at the beginning, which I went ahead and used to immediately expose his weak point, which you normally can't do. I'm going to go ahead and set up a mine round right over there to immediately trip him. And I'm just going to go ahead and keep wailing on him. So if you do this fight perfectly, Nemesis can't do anything to you, basically. Where you're just like going to permanently stun lock him, basically, until he's dead. And he should be dead after these shotgun shots right here. And boom, he's dead. Alright, so something I didn't mention before was, yeah, if you don't pick up, oh, wait, what happened? Oh, it's because I didn't reload this. We're wasting a little bit of time here. That's okay, though. But yeah, if you don't pick up the grenade launcher and the shotgun earlier in the run, they spawned there right before that boss fight, conveniently enough, because the devs thought ahead and went like, hey, you might need these for this fight. And also, we're going to be using only 2 types of rounds with the grenade launcher. Those are the mine rounds and the flame rounds. The flame rounds put things on fire. The mine rounds are kind of like this trap you can set for enemies that will blow up when they get near them. A lot to explain in this short period of time. But okay. We're now back as Carlos. And Jill's basically been infected by Nemi right after she killed him in that fight. So we need to go find a cure for Jill before she turns. So you're going to see me kill these 2 zombies right here. We don't want to deal with those zombies. They can be very, very trolly on the way back to where Jill is. So we go ahead and kill them beforehand so they can't troll us later. And we're basically just going to be doing a lot of running around on the hospital. This is apart from the original game as well, where Carlos needs to go save Jill from an infection and find a cure, basically. And in the hospital, we're going to be introduced to a new enemy type, and that is the normal hunters. I don't actually know what they're called. We just call them hunters. But I'm going to grab that for safety. As you can see, I'm using Carlos's shoulder bash, kind of like Jill's dodge, to get the things faster, because they would normally cancel out the cooldown that the punch does have. So, just a lot of running around. But yeah, the hunters are these fast, very dangerous enemy that can also one-shot you. They can kind of just like, kind of one-shot you like they can, and they can do it in like Resident Evil 1 and a bunch of other games where they're in. So they're very, very dangerous in this game. But with some proper execution, they shouldn't be an issue. Oh, I need to reload my pistol. I did not do that for some reason yet. Oh. We're going to go ahead and pick up this card right here. We're just picking up a lot of stuff so we can basically get to where the vaccine is being kept. And also, we're on a secondary mission to rescue Nathaniel Bard, who is this biologist who works for Umbrella, and he's the one who developed the vaccine for the T-virus. So we need to make sure he's okay. And he's kind of locked in this room with the vaccine, so it's kind of strange. So we're going to need to go help him out. So as you saw right there, we passed the first hunter. Oh, there's the card we need to get in here. As you can see, there's 2 more in here. By pointing our camera up, we can kind of manipulate their AI a little bit. They're a lot less dangerous when you point your camera up. They're very camera shy, as we like to say. I'm going to bait out this enemy attack right here. Ooh, okay, he almost got me. I'm going to use a flash right here to flash these 2. I have to watch out here. Even though they are flash, these 2 can be pretty dangerous. Ooh. When they're flailing around like that, they can actually still hit you when they are immobilized like that. So you just got to be very careful. And we went ahead and got this this cassette tape that we need to put into this tape player to get inside this room that has a lock, which needs a specific voice in order to open. So we're going to just be backtracking our way to where the vaccine is being kept. Ooh. I almost got trolled there. That was some very quick... That was a very quick reaction. All right, there we go.
All I wanted to know was what the documents were doing in your office in the first place.
Who do you think you're talking to? I'm goddamn Nathaniel Bard. Some very, very quotable lines in this game. And as you can see, unfortunately, Mr. Bard has been shot.
Tyrell.
I wonder who that could be. But yeah, we're going to go ahead and move to this computer right here, which we need to activate this cutscene, which opens this door. And, whoa, it's the vaccine sample, which we need for Jill. Conveniently enough, there's one left.
Hang tight.
So, we're just going to be making our way back to Jill now. This part can be a little bit dangerous, too. We have a hunter right here who's going to be chasing us. This hunter is actually the least of the two problems that we have backtracking to Jill. This room right here can be very, very dangerous. Woo. Okay. Ooh, alright. Nice. Okay. So, we're almost done at the hospital right now. And we're back to Jill. And we're gonna make her feel back to her normal self. And right here, we are introduced to what is probably one of the longer segments in the game, and that is the, we call it the hospital defense segment. Basically, we gotta defend this room right here with Jill and Tyrell in it until Tyrell can close these shutters up here. I'm going to be using these pistol headshots right here to quickly dispatch of these enemies. So the zombies in this part are actually much weaker than normal zombies. As you can see, they're dying to very few hits. And this segment is timed up until a certain point. So it doesn't really matter how fast I'm doing this. It's eventually going to end. As you can see, just a couple of good shots. We'll go ahead and dispatch of everyone. So basically, this lasts for about 4 minutes or so of us just defending the room until these shutters close. As you can see, they're closing right there. I don't know why they don't close right here. It's pretty weird. Pretty weird, Tyrell. Okay. And, yeah, this part can be a little bit tedious. But these enemies are pretty easy to dispatch of. And one funny thing here, too, is that when you kill an enemy, when you turn your camera, their body disappears. To just quickly get rid of some of the assets that are on screen. But yeah, we just do this for 5 minutes or so until it's over. There are a couple of things that happen during this time frame, though. But we have strats to deal with them as they come. As you can see, Carlos's pistol is just very, very powerful for some reason. We don't know why exactly. They can just so quickly deal with these enemies. I'm gonna go ahead and clear up some inventory space right here.
Oh, come on.
So the lights went out, and it's a hunter. Oh no! Luckily, there's a couple of convenient grenades right here that we can use to dispatch of him. Gonna check to make sure that guy's dead. And we're gonna be switching now to the assault rifle to go ahead and deal with the remaining enemies. So that right there is about the halfway point when the lights go out. So even though Tyrell does tell you to find the breakers to restore the power, we don't actually need to turn the lights back on. I actually prefer to do this part in the dark, because you kind of use the lights on the floor as a way to tell like how much longer you have left in the segment. And yeah, just killing them as they come in. We went ahead and picked up that detonator because we are going to need it in a bit. Have some tentacle heads here as well. We gotta get rid of. As you can see, we have plenty of ammo left to go ahead and dispatch of these enemies, because we don't really kill that many enemies as Carlos. And you can see the assault rifle does work here. The game kind of just gives you like almost everything you need for this part, like very, 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 very easily. So as you can see, we also have a couple of heals and as well as a generator. And we're going to have a second hunter drop in a little bit too. And basically, once that hunter is dead, that is when the timer is basically kind of stopped. And the segment will basically just end once all the enemies are dead. Alright, it should be ending in just a little bit. Alright, so we have the hunter coming in just a second. We're going to use this grenade on him right here. There he is. Hey, buddy. Goodbye, friend. He didn't really get to do a whole lot, unfortunately. So, I'm going to double check these windows, make sure all the enemies are dead, and then we're going to turn away from them so more enemies don't spawn, just in case. And it should be ending in just a second once we get the next cutscene. Waiting. Okay, there we go. And now, we just need to put the detonator over here. And once this timer is up, like, we're basically scot-free. So, just gotta wait these 30 seconds out. We can just go ahead and stun, or shoot that generator to stun these guys, and then throw our remaining grenade, dispatch of them. Ooh, a lot of them didn't die. That's okay, though. We go ahead and grab one more grenade here, because they do respawn after a bit. Actually, all the ammo and stuff does respawn in this part after a little bit, if you are running low. And boom, there we go. Alright, so now we are officially done playing as Mr. Oliveira, unfortunately, while he lasted. And we're back to Jill. So, actually, I need to go ahead and switch my ammo up right here so we can pick up this new pistol that we find over here. And, alright, nice, no fat zombie here. There's a troll, there's a zombie who can troll you right there, but fortunately he is not there. And yeah, we're back as Jill. And we're going to be moving on to the final stretch of the game, which is the warehouse and finally the labs. Because every Resident Evil game needs to end with a lab segment. I don't know why, but pretty much any Resident Evil game I could think of ends in a lab somewhere.
Oh, this must be the way underground.
So, we're just going to take this giant lift to get down to the warehouse where the villain of the game, Nikolai, who we weren't really introduced to either because we are skipping all these cutscenes, he's basically fled down there. He was a member of Carlos's unit, but he's kind of revealed himself to be a traitor. He's working for someone else that is not Umbrella, who Carlos is working for as a mercenary. And as you can see right there, I am actually going to grab this heal. Oh, I can't even grab it. Darn. Okay, that's okay. I'm going to play this next segment pretty safe, actually. Normally, we would take caution here again in order to be safe, but I'm going to go ahead and play it in fine because we don't have a heal, and I don't want to be stranded in the middle of nowhere without a heal. In a run, no, I wouldn't care. In a run, I risk it all. I risk it all because I want the prize, you know? But, for a safe run, to play it safe, we're not going to be taking any damage here. We ideally want to do this part damageless.
I must admit,
okay.
I respect your tenacity. But I'm
So,
afraid
we're going to be triple dodging over here, and we're going to be introduced to another new enemy, and these are the Paleheads. And yeah, they're kind of like these faceless zombies. They're very fast, and they do a lot of damage, actually, compared to normal zombies. And we don't want any part of him. Normally, we would actually let that Palehead grab us as we're waiting for the elevator in order to get caution while we're waiting. But because this is a marathon run, the hypothetical marathon run, we are not going to do that. And right now, we have to go around the warehouse collecting these three fuses that are spread all over the place. Because Nikolai is trying to stop us. And we have some more dogs to deal with here. One guy right there. That guy is pretty scary. Yeah. The warehouse is like what me and a couple of other runners like to call the secret run killer, like the secret boss of the run. There's a lot of things that can easily troll you in the warehouse. Like those dogs or that zombie right there, or a couple of other very troll parts that are in the warehouse. So as you can see, the rest of these enemies shouldn't really pose a threat to us. We have our entire arsenal now as Jill to go ahead and dispatch of these enemies. You're not going to see me do that many more perfect dodges throughout the run. The rest of the run is basically going to be me using the shotgun as well as the grenade launcher to... we're going to be using those two weapons to basically do crowd control for us, so we don't have to deal with a lot of these enemies. Like, we're going to use the mine rounds to just get rid of some groups of enemies. The shotgun, the stun enemies, all that jazz. Because these enemies coming up can get pretty tough. Okay. So as you see right there, a mine round can just go ahead and just get rid of every zombie in the vicinity. Alright, this guy should jump, because I'm in fine. Yep, cool. So if I don't turn my camera around, this guy shouldn't do anything. As you can see right there. The hunters are very, very camera shy. Oh, I'm gonna get grabbed here. Ooh, he was in a troll spot. That's okay, though. Because we are not... Oh, come on. Come on, Jill. Jill. As you can see, doors are very hard to open in this game for some odd reason. I'm gonna shoot a mine round down here. Hopefully this palehead gives me some room here. Okay. Put these fuses back in. And let's make our way back. Or make our way forward, I should say. We're gonna be moving on now from the warehouse to the labs.
Shit. He got away. What was he
So right here, we've reunited with Tyrell. We don't know where Carlos is. We're trying to find him and to get into these labs so we can find a vaccine. Basically, to catch up everyone up on the lore, the Raccoon City is going to be nuked, just wiped away from existence, unless we can find a vaccine sample, another vaccine sample, different from the one that Jill was fed. And try to bargain with people
you don't need to stop?
so they don't blow up Raccoon City and us with it. So as you can see right there, you are scripted to walk during that hallway segment right there, but using the dodge mechanic, we can go ahead and like bypass that. And also, there is a dialogue you're supposed to listen to at the end of that hallway before you can interact with the door and trigger the cutscene. But using a flame round and shooting it against the door, we can go ahead and quickly skip that, actually. I'm pretty sure that's a bug. And we're basically just going to move on throughout the labs now. So the labs is a pretty dangerous part of the run. It's not that dangerous in that we have all these weapons now to use in dealing with these enemies. But all the enemies in the labs are, like, pretty dangerous. Come on. Like, just a lot of paleheads, these really fast, nimble, strong zombies. A lot of hunters. So as you can see right there, going to shoot him in his kneecaps so he doesn't go ahead and bug us. And we're going to need to grab these two vaccine ingredients in order to make a vaccine ourselves in that main room we came from. So we got the first piece right here. Use the shotgun to get through this guy. I'm going to use a mine round over here. That should get rid of all these guys over here. As you can see, I'm not taking any chances at all. I am just using the shotgun and the mine rounds to just get past all these enemies. We're not going to try and bank on any perfect dodges or anything like that. These guys are fast. Perfect dodges are not nearly as reliable versus these enemies. I'm hoping I can get past this guy. I might have screwed up here. I think I'll be okay. Yeah, we're okay. Nice. That was close, though. There's a very cleverly hidden zombie back there by that thing we were supposed to push. As you can see right here, a lot of hunters. They seem to come from this lab. I hope they don't come alive later and we have to fight them. But yeah, we're going to go ahead and grab the test tube. So we got the culture sample, and now we just need the test tube in order to make our own vaccine so we can go ahead and save Raccoon City. So this room right here is pretty notorious. Just a lot of enemies are packed into this tiny room. We're going to go ahead and use 3 mine rounds to just clear them out. Whew. Okay, I'm going to have to be careful here. One enemy got launched into a troll spot.
This looks like I could use some backup.
Whew. Yeah, alright, that was a good call on my part. That guy was ready to grab me as soon as I walked out of that room. But okay. Yeah, 3 mine rounds just goes ahead and deals with all those enemies. And now, I'm going to go ahead and put a mine round right there. You might wonder what it's for, but it's going to be for this. So we have 3 hunters we have to kill here in order to get past this room. 2 mine rounds each for each of them. Luckily, by shooting that first hunter right there, it hits the second one as well, so we don't need to fire 6 mine rounds, 2 for each. We can just use 4 instead. And we have 1 mine round left for this room right here. I'm going to shoot it on the ankle of this zombie right here. That's going to go ahead and deal with these 2. Oh, nice. We got good RNG right here. Nice. There's usually another palehead hidden back there that I have to shotgun, but He was not there this time, fortunately. And now we're going to go ahead and make our vaccine. So, as you can see, we're moving back towards this room right here. And we're going to have to do one more puzzle before we can make it.
To begin vaccine synthesis, place the materials in the chamber.
Sure thing. Alright. Go ahead and combine those two and put them in. And as you can see, pretty simple puzzle. Mid, high, low. There's really only 2 puzzles in this game, now that I think about it. 2 or 3. And none of them are very hard. That is one of the more disappointing aspects of this game. Doesn't really feel like a Resident Evil game if there's no puzzles, you know? Them good old Resident Evil puzzles. But as you can see right here, Nemi is back again. And he's also the one who killed Tyrell in that hallway back there. I completely forgot to mention that. My apologies. And we're going to need to deal with him one last time. So I'm going to go ahead and pick up those flame rounds that are on that table right there. I'm going to go ahead and make sure everything I have here is properly equipped and reloaded. And we're going to go ahead into the 3rd Nemesis fight. Okay, I'm going to start with a flame round shot right here, and we're just going to go ahead and shotgun him while he's stunned. I'm going to shoot another flame round at him. We're going to put him into the next phase with a pistol right there. And I'm going to reload.
Jill, is that you?
I'm going to let this cutscene play a little bit.
You're okay.
Alright, so it is important to let that cutscene play a little bit if you know Nemi is still on fire, because he's actually taking damage while that cutscene is playing. So I needed to let that play a little bit. I'm going to shoot a flame round at this enemy that rolls in right there. You have to fight like 2 enemies at once during this fight. Two normal enemies and the boss. And we're going to go ahead and shoot Nemi after he's been stunned here. And basically, as you can see right here, he's again not really going to be able to do anything to us. I'm going to shoot him with one more flame round. That should be enough to deal with him. I'm going to go ahead and get rid of this lady right here so he can immediately start running. As you can see, we're kind of just doing just enough damage so he goes into each next phase.
Here comes some more.
And just shooting these giant tanks as he jumps onto them. Alright, I actually want to... I don't think I'll be able to grab this in time. No, we got it. Nice. Okay.
Nikolai?
As you can see, we're kind of using the mechanic in that fight, which is those giant tanks to stun him and do damage to him. The second time he jumps onto that tank like he does there, Carlos drops a crane full of acid on him, and that does about 20% of his health. So instead of just fighting him, like doing the full fight without that, we just went ahead and had Carlos kill him for us, because that's much, much easier. And right here we have the final Nemi fight. He's turned into this giant blob monster, kind of like he did in the original game, and we're going to have to use his giant railgun to put him out of his misery. Oh, I got bad RNG here. That's okay.
Felt that, did you? How about some more?
That's kind of bad RNG, but that's okay. And as you can see, he has these giant bulbs throughout his body that we need to shoot. And when we shoot him all out with the pistol, he goes ahead and gets stunned. We basically need to recharge our railgun. And on standard, he's down long enough. He's down long enough that we can go ahead and get a 1 cycle by pushing in all 3 of these power cells. This fight is pretty notoriously hard on the Nightmare and Inferno difficulties. Many people probably who played on that difficulty will probably know. Fortunately, he's pretty free on this difficulty. And I should be able to make it here. And we're gonna go ahead and make do with him. I don't know. I'm not good at these closing lines. So after this prolonged playable cutscene, we're gonna go ahead and do the final shot on him. W. Mouse 1.
Come on! Next time, take the fucking hit!
Yeah, do that, Nemi. And Nemi is defeated. Okay. Let's go ahead and skip forward. And now we finally have to escape. Nikolai has basically taken our vaccine away from us while we were busy dealing with Nemi. And Carlos is up trying to deal with him as well. So we're approaching the end of the run now. This is, that was basically the last thing we do in the run. But there's one more important thing we need to do. One last important thing we need to do before the run is officially over.
Get away with that vaccine.
And that'll be coming up So we're basically going to go confront Nikolai one last time and get our vaccine back to save Raccoon City. I actually don't need to reload here. I don't need anything else for the rest of this run, basically. But yeah. Moving on up to this helipad right here. And... whoa, where is he? Oh no, it's Carlos. And also, time will be coming up very shortly.
You're not going to stop. Promised you this, didn't I?
Oh, hey, it's our vaccine. No!
Do you have any idea?
Alright, we don't have enough time. And after shooting him in the special spot, we basically just have to shoot Nikolai one last time. The run is over. Time.
I told you I couldn't leave you in a car.
So that right there is Resident Evil 3 Remake. Pretty fun run. Pretty wild. A lot of things can happen. But it's a pretty fun run in the end.
What about him?
Alright, let's go ahead and wrap this up. And Raccoon City is destroyed, but we got away in the helicopter. They kind of like Kingdom of the Crystal Skull. It got away from the nuclear blast in a helicopter somehow. Alright. And here's our result screen. Woo. Here we go. 5037 IGT. Woo. Alright, so that was it. Yeah, that is Resident Evil 3 Remake. A very different game than the original. A lot more similar to RE2, but I would even say it's different from RE2 in that it is a very much more action-heavy game than a more survival horror-oriented one. But yeah, I hope everyone watching enjoyed this presentation of Resident Evil 3. Thank you for watching.